Order for another breaking news now. Beto Jam is beginning in our bro. I will Ghanatube. Order for yes, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. You see, I'm not Kasano or may revoke 270 mining licenses. Order for this time around, the John Domani Mahama on the ministers no Omania be papa. Just a galam say no, you see a baby too as you say who. You see, I'm not Kasano. Just say the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Minister Nankasa, and the Wakako PM Public Accounts Committee, and say this year in Canada for 270 mining licenses, the revoking in another four. Nina say, Galam say, you perceive two as here, and you perceive two as here, crass and a bear, and sass and yen seno, yen stuna didn't now be a claim. It is Siano, or the Jesse Odi, a year, paper biba. Nase just enko year ye betwem o de chese agreement ba nase enko year nase be say ye natural resources ye betwem si amena okasa no ye revoke 270 mining licenses or for when ye breaking news abeto dwa me swidi nyina bro e wo Ghanatube for manko ne kwaje sanse wo nyina nchirem e wo Ghanatube no ma isia.
Honorable Chair, that has been done. All the 113 have been gazetted. Thank you.
So, Honorable Minister, the next question is, we know the right thing. Why did we not gazette before giving it out? So that if, anything should happen, then it becomes difficult for us to trace and to find out because you don't have the records being gazetted. Why did it happen the way it did? And have you put measures in place to prevent the occurrence of this infraction that the Auditor General picked up?
It's a very interesting question. Why did that happen? It happened because those who were at the helm of affairs didn't implement the law as it's supposed to be implemented. And that was why those infractions were, those infractions came up. People had concessions when they didn't need it. There's evidence where some people have concessions that they didn't need it. They didn't even know where the land is. And so we have reviewed the small-scale licenses, like I said earlier on, about 1,200, close to 1,300 licenses were revealed. And when we reviewed them, about 907 irregularities or infractions were identified. We further checked and realized that some were administrative in nature. And so those that were administrative in nature, we asked Minerals Commission to resolve them themselves, which they did. But as I speak to you, just last week, about 278 small-scale mining licenses were revoked. They were revoked because we found that a lot of irregularities that you cannot even resolve were the reasons why we have to revoke them. For instance, if you were to go through the process of getting a small-scale license, you go into a software called MCAST, where you put your application. Where you are going to do this mining, the community will have to be involved. And so the officer there will have to write a report. And in that report, the officer is supposed to recommend whether to give that concession or not. We found out that even in so many cases where the officers had said that don't go ahead, these are the reasons why I'm asking you not to go ahead, some officers went ahead and approved and gave out those concessions. We have revoked them, and we challenge them to take us to court. Again, there were instances where a concession is so close to a community. Indeed, if you were to mine, you end up mining within the houses of the people. And so the officers professionally recommended that do not give out these concessions. They were given. And so we have revoked them. In other instances, there's a high tension line running through the concession, and the officer will say that do not approve. These were approved. We have revoked them. There were instances where the chiefs will sit in their palaces, and then somebody will walk to them, and on their face will just fly a certificate.
To Parliament right now, because we know that the Public Accounts Committee continues its sitting, and the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry is appearing before it along with its numerous agencies. Of importance is the Minerals Commission, who are presently there right now answering questions. The Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Sapeiman, as well, there. Let's take you live there right now for details.
You know why? After the December general election, we are asking about the number of lances that we have given in this year. Is that not the case? After the elections, immediately after the elections, just 4 days for the new president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to be sworn in, 55 lances were signed. So if we are talking about new ones that were signed, we can begin from there. That at least 55 were signed. We'll go and add whatever that we have added and bring it to you.
Minister, see, I appreciate that. Minister, I appreciate that. But you see, Minister, you talked about the MCAS system. You talked about how the whole small scale mining system is now digitized, and you get to know. We know that at the end of every month, with a click of a button, your agency, Minerals Commission, gets to know the number of licenses he has issued. And so what is the big deal in telling us that at the month of October, at the month of September, at the month of August?
Come on, I thought you agreed that.
The interesting thing is that you remember the licenses that were issued 4 days to the expiration of the previous government.
Yes, in a row.
But you don't remember the number of licenses you have issued.
You push me.
I never pushed
to tell you what I
do. To ask the questions. That is my role as a member of Parliament, and also the vice chair on this committee.
Yeah. So the 55.
Honorable member.
The 55.
If I'm going to be the chairman of this place, let me be the chairman. The minister said we need to give him up to this evening, right? He will get us the numbers. What is the big deal about it?
Nobody has disputed.
Don't let us play politics with.
I have not disputed that.
Let's give him the chance. Let's give him the chance to bring the numbers, and then we can play with it. Let's move on. The next one is by Honorable Frank Diebois.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Minister. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Minister, in 2019, when the auditors came to do the audit at Minerals Commission, one of the things they found was that Minerals Commission was issuing operating permits without plans from small-scale miners. But in 2024, when they came back to do a follow-up, that has been corrected significantly. So looking at how sensitive small-scale mining and its related names are to Ghanaians, I just want to, since we have Minerals Commission CEO here, I want him to take the opportunity to explain to Ghanaians, in summary, how one can obtain the process one has to go through in obtaining an operating permit to do small-scale mining in the country. Thank you.
I mean, are you asking of a license or operating permit? The two are not the same.
My question is on operating permit.
Operating permit, yes.
And if you have to get a license before operating permit, that's why.
Yes, so like I said, you need to get a license. And when you get a license, you now go to EPA for EPA permits. When you get the EPA permit, you attach it to your license and come back to Minerals Commission. And when you come to Minerals Commission, the Inspectorate Division, headed by the Chief Inspector of Mines, will now assess it and give you an operating permit. It is only when you get this operating permit that you can now go and start work. But even that, when it comes to large scale, given the ruling of the SUBCRIBE, if you don't ratify, you still don't have the right to operate. It's just that we are a bit considerate. But I think that we'll get there where we'll have to ensure that you ratify before you can even go and start operations.
Okay, thank you, Minister. My last one. By what you just said, I just want you to walk us through. If my uncle in my village in the Ashanti region called Aba wants to enter into a small-scale mining industry, what's the process he has to go through before he can do the small-scale mining legally?
I thought that this was answered when, anyway, I'll let the technical person answer it. He is in charge of small-scale mining. So take us through the process. If somebody wants to get a license to operate in the small-scale arena, what do you have to do?
Yeah, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, if you want to obtain license to operate small-scale mining, first of all, you have to conduct a search to ensure that the place you are interested is within a block-out area. So you conduct a search in Minerals Commission, and if you found the area to be in the block-out area and the area is free, that is what we advise you to put in application. Now you have online applications. That is what we are talking about, the MCAST. So if you put in application, then you have to go to the field and then put the pillars, the coordinate of your area of interest. Then the district officer will inspect whether that place is conducive for mining, and the coordinates actually reflect what is on the ground. After that, you cause a gazette to be done. That is where you inform the chiefs and all the other people. And if everything is done within 21 days, there is no objection to that application, they will go ahead to process the applications, and then we make a recommendation to the minister. That is, if everything is satisfied, you make a recommendation to the minister, and if the minister approves the recommendation, that is why we allow you to pay the annual mineral right fee, you pay the ground rent, and you sign the agreement.
More of that in later broadcasts. Right now, however, residents of Sapeiman and its adjoining communities are protesting the absence of a footbridge in the design on the Nsawam-Kumasi highway. Elders within the community say they were
Other for when breaking news about to be a chese. Public Accounts Committee no and coso no natural resources na chese Ghana ye wono minister kese no ye in charge no lands and natural resources ono akwako PM Public Accounts Committee na yeto na no odofo yesi over 270 mining licenses na chese ye revoke na chese nsem koso aye deja Our Public Account Committee hono a menso bedi ni nyina bro ewo Ghanatube rofo sisi ano yesi 270 mining licenses ye revoke ni nyina because se oba be mining na se ye research na dey hu se no be bia wa be ye no enkoyi emboa Ghana for dia enya ade a ye de be ma nti si ame no kasa no licenses a ye de ma man for 270 ye revoke ni nyina rofo when e breaking news about to jam so be ni nyina bro I will Ghanatube rofo ma be fi like na ma subscribe no ma share no ma hit notification board so ma se ne be a bring ya bibia do pe content say ya wo wo jana tempa no atwe no item rofo aha ana me de